Hello there, my name is John and I am a nobody. Today's story is obviously about a famous person, but it's also about somebody who is not famous. I don't even know his name, but I did meet him. And it was a glorious, maybe a golden age for musicians and singers and bands, but we shouldn't fall into the trap of feeling sorry for them, because let's face it, people like Jeff Beck or Tina Turner or Joe Cocker, they had wonderful lives, and I don't feel really that sorry for them. To sing and or play guitar and be loved for it, it's going to be one of the finest things ever to do. And let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the legacy. But let's also remember the nobodies, the many nobodies. So I used to play in a huge hall in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is in Germany, Dortmund. And it was a massive place. There were 15,000, over 15,000 people fitted in there. And one of the people that my first band supported was Joe Cocker, who everybody knows, or should know. Now, there's a kind of a link with all these stories, because Joe Cocker came to fame maybe by playing at Woodstock, which was before my time. And on the bass, singing backing vocals, was Alan Spencer, who I also had the great joy of meeting. And I did a little story about Alan Spencer and Kokomo for you to check out if you want to. Now, Alan Spencer was not playing with the band at the time. Joe Cocker had an American band, and they all turned up for the sound check to set the gear up. This was the time that a famous American company were trying to push their stuff, and the company was producing amplifiers and instruments. The instruments became quite popular and took off, and I met Dave Marquis, who at the time was playing with Joan Armour Trading. And he went on and on about his bass, which was a Music Man. And yeah, it was kind of a weird time. It was very fashionable to wear a beret. And, if you had a red beret, that was even better. So this American band turned up from Joe Cocker. And the first thing they asked, or the bass player asked me, was could he use my Ampeg, which was, standard sort of Rolls Royce of bass amplification at the time. And so I said yes. They had a lot of boxes full of Music Man amps, but they hadn't taken off at the time. And so he was setting up, and I went backstage, and I met this guy. Now, it was quite extraordinary, because this man was sitting with a pair of drumsticks drumming on his leg, and I naturally thought he was Joe Cocker's drummer. But as it transpired, he wasn't. He was maybe an ex-drummer, or had known Joe Cocker for a long time, or had played drums with him once, maybe, or more often. And he kept drumming, and I thought, my God, this is so strange to be sitting backstage. Joe Cocker's band is setting up, and the drummer is, or a drummer, is sitting out the back, twiddling away with his drumsticks. It was an amazing experience in a way, because it was very sad. I found it very sad that this gentleman, and I hope he's doing well if he's still alive, had never forgotten that moment when he had been a drummer playing for Joe Cocker. And if he's not with us, I hope he is, but if he isn't with us, well, I'm sure they buried him in his best suit, and the drumsticks are probably sticking out of his back pocket. Anyway, everything went fine. The gig was fine. We did a lot of, as I mentioned, a lot of supports at the time, including for the Stray Cats and what have you. These will be other stories that will be coming up in the future. I just wanted to share that kind of sad story with you, and at the same time I hope that you're doing well and taking good care of yourself and those you love. And I'll see you in the next one. Give this one a little thumbs up if you want, or share it, or whatever you do these days. All right, you take care of yourself, and as always, mostly, Tchaikovsky.